MrWhoseTheBoss, 26-year-old tech legend Aaron, whose YouTube videos have been viewed well over 2 billion times. That's a quarter of the planet's population. And then there's me, Elliot. Hi, I build GameBoys. Recently, MrWhoseTheBoss visited MrBeast's studio to find out what tech he uses, and Aaron stumbled across one of the GameBoys that I'd built for Jimmy, and he said this.
Weirdly, that's one of the coolest pieces of tech I've seen so far.
I mean, what a legend. Giving a small YouTuber like me a shout out on a channel with 12 million subscribers. I then offered to build him a GameBoy to show my appreciation, and he said this.
That sounds insane. I'm trying to think what we could do with it. Do you think it's possible to make like a tech Game Boy?
And with that, let's get this show on the road. Massive thank you to iFixit for sponsoring this video. If you're looking to get into repairs or just want an excellent toolkit, then look no further than iFixit. They have a wide range of kits to choose from. I've personally fallen in love with the Mako kit, which has everything I need and has become my daily user. Check them out at ifixit.com/retrofuture or click on the link in the description below. We're going to start with a regular old Game Boy Advance. Fortunately, this thing works just fine, but take a look at that screen. Sure, it might be nostalgic, but it's absolutely impractical. This poor old thing is also showing its age in the cracks and crevices, which are filled with goodness knows what. We'll start by taking it apart using iFixit's Mako toolkit, my favourite one which I've been using for well over a year now. There are several tri-wing screws on the back, and after undoing all of those, we can lift off the rear shell piece and get inside. There we will find a couple of Phillips screws which need to be removed before unlatching the screen's ribbon cable from the motherboard. After that, we can slide out the motherboard and get to work giving everything a clean, with my Nan's toothbrush and some isopropyl alcohol. Once everything is spotless, let's take a look at the mods. So I'm going to be using some stuff that my friend Nick from BoxyPixel sent me, and there are just so many goodies. But before we look at them, let's take out this plate and assemble it. This is going to suspend the new shell whilst we build the Game Boy, allowing the buttons to fall naturally and not press against the table, causing complications when we screw it all together. Speaking of the shell, here it is. An anodized aluminium shell for the Game Boy Advance, complete with both of our logos, with mine being hidden away, but we know that it's there. This is what several months of precise measurements and expert 3D modeling looks like. Nick is an absolute master at making these. This is a true testament to his hard work and skill. Nick has also made these fantastic aluminium shoulder buttons which are hollow and look so futuristic. As well as that, he has included some of his aluminium buttons which are beautifully smooth and soft to the touch. And if you haven't noticed, these are all in the theme of MrWhoseTheBoss's channel. With that, let's get to building. I'll go ahead and pop all of the buttons into place, followed by the rubber membranes, which I'll be taking from the original Game Boy Advance for the most authentic feel. And now, to get to the really technical part. We're going to be making this Game Boy rechargeable. Gone are the days of AA batteries powering our advanced tech. MrWhoseTheBoss is used to the latest smartphones. He's unlikely to even own batteries. Once we remove the battery contacts, we can begin to solder up the rechargeable board. This is complete with a USB-C port for an ultra-modern feel. Once the wires are soldered down, there's a 3D printed bracket which will hold everything into place, which we'll screw into the shell later. Next up, let's improve that screen. The screen we will be installing has control settings which are accessed via different button combinations, so we need to solder wires from the screen's ribbon cable to the Game Boy's motherboard. There's an L and R pad for each of the shoulder buttons and a select pad for the select button. And once they're all soldered into place, we are done with the soldering. Let's connect up the brand new display and get everything put together. There's a bracket to hold the screen into place since Nick has also made this shell compatible with all of the original Game Boy components. And then it's a game of wrestling everything into place and making sure that everything is sat down properly. There is an in-depth guide for this mod which I will link down below. We can then screw everything down, putting the shoulder buttons in and installing the cartridge shield. Finally, we can put the back on and install the brand new glass screen lens. And with that, we are done. Then it's just a short trip up the country via train to MrWhoseTheBoss's studio. Now, I was very excited to see his studio since it looks so amazing in his videos, but I was also very nervous.
You move to a new iPhone, you get the same wallpaper and
Game Boy. So, I've built you a custom Game Boy, and this one is kind of special because it's not actually been released yet, or at least the mod that this has not been released yet. So a good friend of mine, Nick from BoxyPixel, makes metal Game Boy shells, and this is his latest revision. I've not done this mod before, so it was a lot of fun. It's got all of the latest tech that you could cram into a Game Boy, and I'm really excited for you to see it.
That's such a weird sentence. It's got all the latest tech you could cram into a Game Boy.
I know. Well, we've got an original Game Boy here, and did you say this was your one?
Yeah, so this is my actual Game Boy Advance. Every time I pick this up, it's kind of crazy because I'm visualizing my entire childhood. So I would say I'm primarily a handheld gamer, which makes this perfect. And also, of all handheld consoles, this has probably had my second most amount of time.
It's in really good condition. Like the screen, he says as he's about to drop it.
And also, there's no back cover.
He had a rechargeable.
Oh yeah.
But there's a rechargeable battery in this, but it's a little bit more sophisticated than that.
That is very tech savvy.
I know.
You know, it's kind of crazy because one of my favorite memories ever of all time, one of my birthdays, I think I was turning 8 or 9 years old, and my parents bought me Ruby version, like Pokemon Ruby version. Oh yeah. So my parents bought me this exact game, and I slept with this under my pillow until 12 PM, the second it turned my birthday, and I like rushed open, like grabbed it, ripped open the packaging, slapped it in and played all night.
Wait, why did you wait?
Because I'm a nice boy. I don't know, I'm just like I'm a man of like rules.
Discipline.
Yeah, I'm a man of discipline, that's the word.
I remember the morning it was Christmas and I got this, and I literally like tore open the box. I woke my mum up at like a ridiculous hour just to get it.
Oh, so you went solo into the like downstairs room?
I just went into their bedroom, woke them up, and I was like, it's DS time, guys, wake up. Before you put that away,
okay.
I just wanted you to see the screen, because there is some batteries in there, and I wanted just to remind you of what we're about to improve on.
This is so cool, okay. I've not turned this on in about 4 years.
Hope it works. Oh. There we go.
No way. Oh my gosh. It's so funny how you're taking me down a trip down memory lane using my own tech.
I know, you've had this here the whole time.
I know, it's been here the whole time. I've never turned this on. That's insane.
It's just, I find it interesting that obviously you get all of the latest phones and everything in, and you've got the crispest screens, and like you go back to something like this, and we've got a million lights on in this room right now, but if those lights weren't on, or if there was...
Yeah, you couldn't see it.
No.
I used to have this like little Game Shark attachment.
Yeah.
And I'd like play under the covers.
That's all this is. It's literally just a worm light.
Right. That's all I need.
Would you like to see?
I actually cannot wait. I've been thinking about this for months.
I'm so excited for you to see this, honestly.
What am I going to look at? Like,
hopefully it's in there. I might have forgotten to put it in. Let's go for it. Rip it open.
Oh my gosh. This is insane. Like, this doesn't happen very often to me. Like, people building like personalized bits of tech.
I'm excited for you to see it.
Oh my gosh! It's pure metal!
It is pure metal.
Oh my god.
You said you wanted it in your sort of color scheme as well, so
This feels like such a high quality piece of kit.
it's cool.
Is that USB-C?
USB-C.
It's a USB-C Game Boy. That's putting Apple to shame. Turning it on. Oh.
So it's an IPS screen.
So it's the original resolution, just
Yep.
using a far better like.
I think the screen is ever so slightly bigger because these companies in China making these screens are using existing screens from something and just sort of retrofitting them in. So if you press the select button
select.
and then hold it and use the right shoulder button, that will turn the brightness up.
Is that something you've added in? Is this like a?
Yeah, that's all.
That's
and then
insanely
L-
bright as well.
How low is it?
That's like as bright as my iPhone screen.
Yeah, and all these buttons have been made specifically by this guy. That they're hollow. They're all
Yeah, that is such a
machined.
cool touch. The press is so satisfying as well.
On the D-pad to get that to feel authentic, he's got a small 3D printed bit of plastic to stop it so that it's not metal rubbing on metal, it's metal rubbing on plastic.
So it's not like clanging.
So because that's something that's really important is to try and keep the nostalgic sponginess.
It's even like the buttons are slightly concave,
so
which
nice.
like that's insane. I can almost like feel the months of work that have gone into it, like the agonizing
Yeah.
decisions you've had to make.
These are just a couple of games.
So this will be the second Super Mario Bros. Or something ever made.
That'll probably be the fourth. I think they made 1, 2, and 3 on the original Game Boy, and then you've got the Game Boy Color one, which is what this one is.
There's something really accessible about these games that you can kind of pick up and just play.
I
like,
know.
the fact is, like, this is loaded. I'm in the game now.
I know.
And it's been like 2 seconds since I put it in.
And they're so simple, but so fun.
Nintendo is really good at pacing their games. Like, they introduce one mechanic slowly, and then they make it harder and harder. I just died.
Yeah, it is that sort of gradual thing. They're not expecting everyone to be like expert so that anyone can play it.
And they also have fewer mechanics. Like, they try to make one mechanic, like Mario's jump, do many, many different things. Like, it's
so
a
hard to
weapon
play and
and
talk.
it's... Yeah.
Like, it's something that everybody thinks
No,
I'm
but
really bad at video games because I play and talk and I die every time and they're like, Elliot, are you even playing these games? Like, you've got all these Game Boys.
But I think it's also the fact that I am not used to playing games with difficulty like this. I mean, I'm a big chess player. Like, I play a lot of strategic games, but, like, I don't have the dexterity.
So this is something that someone made for me recently and I just thought you'd find it funny.
Someone made it.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't ask any more questions. Oh, it looks so good. Like the green game and the blue Game Boy.
Isn't the blue stunning?
It's actually insane. I remember this theme tune.
It's alright, should survive that.
Oh my
How
god!
good is that?
This is not the first time this has happened to me this week.
Copyright.
I'm feeling a mix of emotions right now. I'm very impressed.
I know, I mean, I didn't make it, but I would love to say that I did. Everything seems normal. Oh, it's so good.
I deserve that. I think here you go. This is the crown. There you go.
Thank you very much. Well, there we have it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. I hope you have some...
You've just given me my favorite game ever.
It weighs so much, doesn't it?
It does. Well done on this. Like, this is beautiful.
You're most welcome. I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to build the tech guy, the tech Game Boy. And, we did have a little conversation about old games and the simplicity of them. So there's a couple of simple games there for you to...
Maybe you'll see a review in a couple of weeks.
That would be cool.